Hello, everyone. It's Mike Schoonover with the 812 Living Group and host of the 812 and You blog. I am here today with my colleague and friend, Shannon Vidito. Shannon, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for being here. To my listeners, normally we're going to do interviews about things real estate related or Southern Indiana community events. Today is a little bit of a unique topic, but it's one that I heard Shannon's story, thought it was very important. It made me make some changes in my own life. And so wanted to bring that to you. Shannon had her Facebook account stolen. If you've been on social media long enough, on Facebook, Instagram, you probably have had your account hacked or know someone that has, but Shannon actually had her account stolen. So we're going to talk to her about what that experience was like, kind of the headache that it created. And we're going to give you some tips on how to prevent your account from being stolen. So, Shannon, talk us through that. What happened with your account?
Well, sure. Well, Mike, I was on vacation in Florida with my family, and I have a tendency to wake up before everybody else does. And so, what do? You wake up, you're still laying in bed, you grab your phone, and you start going through social media. So, that morning, I pulled out my phone and Facebook, and I went through my notifications, and I saw that was a message from Facebook first saying that my account had been logged into from a location that was not normal for me. And I thought, okay, well, I'm in Florida, right? I'm on vacation. Maybe that was me. Well, unfortunately, there was another notification right after that, and it said, your email has been changed. And I thought, oh no, here we go. It's
Yeah.
happening because I had known people whose accounts had been compromised. The next email said, your password has been
Mm.
changed. And these all had happened about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm reading through these notifications. And so I go out to my Facebook account. It's not there.
Mm.
All it is my picture and my background. And so I thought, okay, I've been hacked.
Yeah.
Here we are. So I panicked.
Yeah. 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 So your account is gone. You can't access it, but
Right.
I'm sure Facebook can help you get it back, right?
Well, that's the perception that some people have. And unfortunately, that perception is 100% wrong. So you can get into your account, and the most that you can do at this point is say, I believe my Facebook account has been hacked. And that's a simple click.
Hmm.
And I did that. And the next thing they asked for was, well, we need to determine that it's you who's saying that your Facebook account is hacked. And the next step is to upload a government ID. And I thought, wow, this is getting a little official.
Hmm.
So I did it. I thought, my Facebook account, I'd had it for 13 years. All my friends are on there. I have 1,500 plus friends, and so it hurt. I thought it's not just as simple as going out and starting over. Um, I need to do this. So over to the wallet I went and tried by way of my camera on my laptop to send over my government ID, which was my driver's license, and
Hmm.
upload it to Facebook. I got a response back that said thanks, but no thanks. So that didn't work.
Oh, wow.
You might want to try again. So I uploaded it again. Same email. Thanks, but no thanks. And I felt like I was going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So I started to search for a phone number or contact or chat box, right, with Facebook.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it.
Right.
There was nothing I could find. So I went to the next best thing. I Googled, my Facebook account has been hacked and I've sent in my government ID. Now what? And I quickly learned a lot of other people's pain that they weren't successful in getting their accounts back because due to COVID, there was nobody at Facebook to look at those government IDs and they were being read by artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
And if your account or if your ID has a lot of holograms on it, like our state does, then it wasn't being read very well. And my fingers may have been in it or it wasn't at the right angle. And so Facebook was not going to help me at that point. I was
Yeah.
locked out, I was hacked.
Yeah. So you have your personal page,
Yes.
photos,
Hmm.
things with your family, and then you
Yep.
have a business page as well. So there's some real pain there. Uh,
Absolutely.
so talk
Yeah. So
about that, and talk about the headache that you went through to try and get your account back.
right. So not only did I have a personal page, but I also had a business page for my real estate business. I also represented a builder with a new development here locally. So I had a page that I started and managed for that builder, that developer, that development. And I also had a couple other pages that were prospecting pages, maybe pages that I would start later on, but they were all real estate involved. And I realized I can't just lose my account. And so I wasn't getting anywhere. And I turned to Google again, and the search bar or the words that I typed in were, I'm not getting anywhere with Facebook account hack, now what? And not very much came up, but there were some stories. And somehow, as I clicked and went through and searching, I found someone's comment that they had hired a hacker. And I thought, wow, okay, how do you combat something? I've been hacked. I'll hire a hacker and
Yeah.
get my account back.
Yeah. So talk to us about that.
Yeah.
What is it
It's
like to hire a hacker?
Well, it's crazy. So the company is called hacked.com,
Mhm.
and they are actually out of Norway. So then I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be even more. My trust was gone, right? But I got on their page and I read a lot of their reviews, and they seemed like real people, and they seemed like people that were truly and genuinely and authentically telling their same or very similar story that I was experiencing. And so I honestly just took a leap of faith. I thought, well, what do I have to lose? I'm already resolved to losing my Facebook account and all of the other ones that I had put together, right? So what do I have to lose? If I use a credit card, I can dispute a charge, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I felt safe in that. And I went on and just went through their process, and I said that here was my problem, and to get into their system and then to become a potential customer of theirs. You set up a call with someone here in the United States. It was a lady in Alabama, and I do forget her name. I paid $1 for that appointment, and we set a time for her to call me, and she called me the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. So through that conversation with her, I learned quite a bit. She said, your account's been hacked. Facebook has taken your account down because of things that don't look normal, and because you told them your account was hacked, and they're trying to process your driver's license. That was my government ID I used.
Hmm.
She said, that's normal process. She then went on to tell me, you have 30 days to get your account back. Facebook takes your account down for 30 days. And after that point, you have an opportunity to try to gain access to it in that 30 days.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that sounds great, but Facebook won't help me. And she said, you're exactly right. They don't help you. There's a million people whose accounts are getting hacked. And so you're one in a million. And she also went on to say, do you want to know why this happened to you? And I said, well, sure. I'm a mom, I'm a realtor. Nothing's real fancy with my page. And she said, well, what they were trying to get to was credit card access that you may have had onto your account, or through your business accounts. And as real estate agents, we run ads to either promote our businesses or promote ourselves or promote our products, which is our houses that we're selling. And so the hacker was more than likely trying to get to my credit card information, which I understood. And I thought, oh, okay, then that could be the issue.
Hmm.
So the next step, she made me feel really good. She said, go back through the page, read all of the reviews that had been left for hack.com. If you feel comfortable, you go on and schedule an appointment, a Zoom call with one of our hackers. There's only two guys that run this business. They're both out of Norway. So I did that. And when I got back home from vacation, it was a few days later. I was getting nervous. It had been about a week. And we set up a call time, and he Zoomed right in at the time we were supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great. I was feeling confident, right?
Yeah. Well, so I want to pause real quickly right here, and I want people to understand. I made the assumption when I first heard your story, I thought, well, if anything ever happens, then I just hit click a few buttons and I get it back and I can reset my
Yeah.
password. That
Right.
is not the reality. You go to Facebook, your account, if it gets stolen, they get to the point where they can change your password.
Hmm.
There's no help. You're literally hiring a hacker
Yes.
to get
Yeah.
your account back.
Right. So what they had done at this point, before talking to Jonas, who was my consultant with Hack.com, I had my email didn't match my account anymore. My password didn't match my account anymore. If I had asked for a code to be sent to me via my phone number that was still in that phone, I wasn't getting that code either.
Mm,
They had intercepted that.
yeah,
So I had no way of getting my account back
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah.
Mhm.
So talk to us a little bit. What was the process that they took you through to get the account back? How painful was it? How long did it take?
Really, once I got on the phone with Jonas from Norway, it was a very easy process. I was back up and running in about 4 days
Oh,
max,
wow.
maybe just three. When he and I had our conversation, he had sent me very explicit instructions beforehand of what I needed to do. We were doing a Zoom call, but he asked the questions that he had sent me and the instructions that he had sent me were relative to my computer. I have a Mac. And so I had to turn on some sharing capabilities for him.
Hmm.
So when we got on our Zoom call, he took control of my computer and he sat there with me and we opened up Facebook, we opened up email. He wanted to see all the emails that had been sent to me from Facebook.
Hmm.
He wanted to see my account and what the status was in, and he was able to start breaking through those barriers that I couldn't get through just because of his experience
Sure.
and the fact that he does this for a living.
Yeah, right, right.
Mhm.
Can I ask how much it cost you to
Absolutely.
yeah.
$499 is what it cost me. So 500 with the $1 prior.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was fair. I thought that was very fair. He was able to get into my account and we learned a lot and he told me a lot of security measures that I needed to take in the process and to get my account back. He was willing to do those for me. But what I did find out in the first conversation with him is that yes, the email was changed, the password was changed, but where I could have stopped this from happening was the fact that Facebook is requesting for extra security on your Facebook account is that you add in the two-factor authentication on that. And there's also a feature that I didn't know anything about and had really never heard of about was adding friends and family to your Facebook account and you can pick up to 3 people. And then if you get hacked or something happens with your account and you're locked out of your account, then those 3 trusted friends can help you
Yeah.
and they will be sent a code on your behalf. So people that you know and that are close to you could help you out of the situation. I didn't have either of those set up at
Yeah.
all. I was so vulnerable.
Right, right. And,
Yeah.
Facebook has a plethora of security options. How often are we really going in and taking a look at those? I have some privacy stuff set up
Sure.
before I talk to you, but I did not go and do any of the three. I didn't have any of the top three things in place. Two of the
Hmm.
things you talked about, the two-factor authentication is huge. The
Huge.
trusted friends is kind of that
Hmm.
extra layer. And then they talk, and I'm going to
Hmm.
post a link to their article, hack.com. They actually have an article up on some like 7 things that you can do. But one of the other main things they said is stop logging into other services with Facebook.
Hmm.
You get these things where it says, hey, would you like to log in with Facebook? It's super convenient, but it
Hmm.
exposes you to these possible hackers. So,
Right.
wow.
So in my first conversation with Jonas over Zoom, he went into my account. He was actually we spent a great deal of time taking that government ID once again and uploading it. And what I learned is that he was very specific on how that government ID really needed to be sent to Facebook. Mine was just being kicked out. My fingers were in it. It
Uh-huh.
wasn't straight. It was crooked. So we actually put it on a green piece of paper, took a photo of it, captured it from my computer, uploaded it to Facebook, and they accepted that. And that's when we got my account unlocked the first time.
Yeah.
He explained to me what my security measures should be, and that was the two-factor authentication and the friends and family. And then he said, well, we'll wait for an email at this point. And that's when Facebook says, they've already said that they've received your government ID. Let's have them approve it. He says it usually takes about, an hour or two. And lo and behold, within the time I was on the phone with him, they had accepted my ID and I got another email back. So he was on the phone with me on Zoom and saw that. We took that email. There was another click to get back into the Facebook account. That's when we saw that the hacker had changed my birthday.
Oh, wow.
So then we had to go through an appeal process. So we had to once again upload the government ID back to another department within Facebook. And he said, this could take up to 48 hours. Later that night, I received the other email saying I had won my appeal and that I was no longer too young to own a Facebook account. So I'm assuming that they changed my date of birth, probably the year.
Yeah.
And so I was in, and there was a link that I could get back into my account. But Jonas and I had another conversation. He Zoomed with me a second time. After that appeal process. That's when we did so many other things with my account, just making sure it looked okay. And then that's when we discovered really why the hackers wanted into my account. They got into my the systems and the preferences for running ads with my account, and they were running ads. They were running ads with my account in Canada that were foreign. They were a French ad. They had been running them for a week at this point, and lo and behold, they were not using my credit card number.
Huh.
So I was receiving invoices from Facebook from a credit card that had been entered into my account from a name I couldn't pronounce. From the country code on it was Vietnam, and it was a credit card number that didn't match any of mine.
So you did avoid credit charges.
Thus far, I have. I'm still checking my accounts, though, very frequently. And I've actually frozen some of my accounts that I don't use very often, just for protection, and just kind of went an extra step for security outside of Facebook anyway.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you think, well, if they can get your Facebook account and it has your credit card on there and they've got somebody else's card in there, then you may be at risk there. Let's go ahead.
Exactly. So I'm still watching. But at this point, then I was completed my service with hack.com, and I was very pleased. And I did leave a fantastic review for him.
Yeah.
I don't normally do that, but I thought, this was a great experience for me. It was easy. My fears were gone. I did take a huge leap of faith in hiring a hacker. It seems a little odd to say I did that, but I did. I felt like, again, it was really important I got my accounts back. Yeah. He also did tell me the one last thing that I did, I actually eliminated any option of running any further ads from my accounts, from any of my business pages. And that can be switched later on, but that was just something else I did as an extra layer of security right now until I'm comfortable again or feel the need to run an ad in the future with Facebook.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to post on the blog and in the links below in the video, the link to hack.com. There's a couple of articles that I found in my research that talk about those tips, some of the tips that your hacker gave to you. So people can go in and take a look at that and hopefully avoid kind of the trouble and the pain that you went through.
Absolutely.
Key takeaways from this whole experience?
If I have time, I'll tell you then just a quick story. Walked through the office that I work in. As soon as I got my account back, another agent, I overheard her saying, my account got hacked. And she was talking to another agent, and I said, I hate to interrupt. I'm sending you this link. The same thing happened to me. And she has since reached out and said, thank you so much. I actually used them again. Yeah. So I've made a positive impact on somebody else that I know. But also what happened this past week is I received a phone call from someone I didn't know who actually had found my review on hack.com. She was in Cincinnati, Ohio. She found me through social media, found my phone number because as a real estate agent, it's out there, right? And she called and we had about a 30-minute conversation about did I feel comfortable with hack.com? Was I a real person? Was I paid for my Google review? Did this really happen to me? She was getting ready to take the leap of faith, but had just out of fear, additional fear, wanted to
Yeah.
know the what I call the straight skinny sometimes about if I was really a valid resource for
Yeah.
her. So that was a fun conversation. I felt her pain, and we talked, like I said, at length. And her account had just been hacked too.
Right, right. So you've taken your pain and suffering, and you've been able to help others through that.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
well, thank you so much again for joining us, talking to us about the Facebook security. And again, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope what I said today makes an impact on somebody.
Absolutely. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you so much.